That's almost like an intervention.
So I can tell my spouse, hey, you know what? I need a 3-day break from you. So I think that you need to go take these 3 days, go somewhere, no phone, no, don't call me. I won't call you. I think you need this. So that's going to be okay.
It sounds like it.
Hey, it works.
If you need it, you got to be it. I mean, I feel like that's. And what did you say? Was that you? Probably said communication.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you love someone, sometimes you got to do things that makes you uncomfortable to
Ah,
make them happy. And so, yeah, if you got to be without your boo for 72 hours, you're like, yo, here, go to Boston for the weekend and just go hang out.
I ain't paying for that. You need
Oh
3 days
my
off.
gosh.
I'm leaving you. You staying by yourself. You
Holly,
alone in the house.
we're trying to make sure we are all fair and equitable for our mates here. We're trying to help people out here in this world.
Why do I have to give him an idea where to go?
right. I done came up with the suggestion that you need 3 days, away.
I thought I was being nice by
Is there anything better than a trip getting ready?
Nope.
For a long journey where our podcast released a new epi, searching for a fade fiend, new fixation. Giving this a subscribe is the same sensation. Started with the day ones, they gave us fuel to support the season. Could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here for a reason. Notification bells, text some friends, all to let you know. Check your Bluetooth, connect, talk your way to
Welcome in, everyone. I named this February finally, season 3, episode 19. But in our pre-production, this sounds like this needs to be fired up. February, February fired up. But we gonna get to it today. We gonna get to it. Give the people what they want. How y'all ladies doing today?
It's
Hey,
February. It's the month of love.
yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's the month of love. It's the color red. I'll be like, oh, this is my month. Let's get it started. Yes.
Hey, your boy get down with that red. So I was at a soccer tournament with the wife and kids, and I went over to the little cooler. They don't charge to come in to watch the game. Some places do. This one didn't. So I was like, you know what? My kids so far are doing all right, even though it's early in the morning. Let me break these kids off. So I get little blow pops. I get them red. I go over to the cooler to get me something to drink. I get a Gatorade. It's red.
Red.
And as soon as we sit down, what she said, you got that red, don't you? Ladies, is it no longer a flavor as long as it's red?
Red can be so many flavors, though. That's the problem.
True.
It's like if it's yellow, if it's not lemonade, like if it's a Gatorade and I say it's yellow, it's probably lime. It's that lemon
Okay.
lime. What else is yellow? Orange is a fruit.
Mango.
But that's not your basic. Like you have to think basic. What are people? What Gatorades are? Because they have like Arctic things. But what are the standard Gatorade colors going to be? Right? It's going to be that red, that white, that
Mhm.
orange,
That
yellow.
blue.
Yeah, I get that purple. Yeah, I get that purple.
Yeah.
I don't see it as often. Like I don't know. I haven't seen it as often. I don't know if it's like not a staple color anymore.
Oh,
But
I will check.
It's always grape. Yeah, it's like grape. And then that's a standard. But then they have a twist. Like, okay, is it like the light colored blue, the dark blue, or that turquoise blue? But again, you're not gonna see out. You're gonna get like that one color of Gatorade, that blue. And then again with the purple, like it could be great. It's probably grape, but then they have like Arctic frost. I'm like,
Yeah. What is that?
that's not not a flavor. That's just a different marketing tactic, right?
It is.
It
So
is.
that the kids feel like they are actually doing something, but they're
Yeah.
really not. Because you know what? I got an Arctic fresh. Yes. Really, sweetie, calm it down.
Yeah.
So today I want to get started under the harsh lights and louder judgment. Amy Winehouse stood on stage, overwhelmed, crying as boos echoed from the crowd during what would become her final performance.
Ooh.
What should have been a night of music instead revealed the brutal cost of fame and public scrutiny on a visibly struggling human being. Ladies, where do audiences and media cross the line between being spectators and being responsible for the harm done to artists in moments like this?
I think
You guys have seen it. Yeah, you guys have gone to sporting events too.
Mhm.
just like me. And I'm not going to go back and edit that out. I started reading it and yeah, I made a mistake. We can boo or we can understand we're human. Where does that begin for you guys? Where do the audiences and media cross the line from being spectators and being responsible for the harm done to artists in moments like this?
Well, I'm going to take it back to one of the with Princess Diana.
Mm-hmm.
She was world loved and everything, but because she was such a public figure, they wanted to know every millisecond about her. Every time she came out, the camera was there. She couldn't even go on a date, and then with the media chasing her, created the accident that unfortunately took her life. That is ridiculous. There should be parents can't even come out and take their children to school because the media is right there. We don't want our children, everybody doesn't want their children seen by everybody, or having to go through people popping up behind bushes or cars or something. That is traumatic on children, let alone the parent, because that puts the parent in another mode. You know, you have people that stalk, those that are in the public eye. So that line that is being crossed, it's not even a line anymore. They're just doing it now.
DL, nowadays, when you go to a sporting event, told you I was at that little soccer tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Every parent's got their phone out and trying to get it. And it does block some of the view for those of us who are behind you or to the side of you, depending on the angle of the action. Everyone wants their moment, DL. Back then in the 80s and 90s, and even now, 30, 40 years later, when it comes to paparazzi. And so my question, DL, is do you think that we can actually give like a paparazzi hours? You can only take photos of people Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and anything outside that is offline. So I don't believe we can do that. But when I think of that, I also say, I hear you, DL. This is your job in paparazzi. You get paid good money, maybe $500 per usable photograph. That's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So you go out and you get Polly Pockets. Now I ain't get my $500 today yet. I'm glad you woke up earlier than me, or you weren't stuck in LA traffic. Sorry, Polly spends most of her time. She's San Diego. So you got there and you got her before me. But now it's my turn. And just because you did it at 11 o'clock and she's like, oh, good, maybe I'm done with paparazzi for the day. Because I don't get to Polly till like 2 o'clock. And now I got to get my photo and info. And that's how it is. And that's just two media outlets, DL and Donato. Now you got people from Tokyo. You got people from Botswana. You have people from all over that are coming, and they arrive at different times. Some are slower. And I think that's how we end up here.
And unfortunately, again, you can't put a timeline. You can't put the paparazzi on the timeline. You can't stop parents or grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, scouts, or whatever at a sporting event from trying to get that one shot, memorable shot. It it comes down to people knowing or having some type of ethics about themselves. Like, okay, if I'm at a sporting event and I'm trying to get a picture of my baby, excuse me, just want to get this shot, I'm out your way. Because everybody's trying to get that picture.
Yes.
If it's about my money, unfortunately, the we have seen that them paparazzi, it's about them trying to get that paycheck. They got families to support.
They
But
do.
again, is that line? How far do you go for a for a picture?
If that was a high-speed chase that night that she died, I would say that's too far. Oh, they trying to get away from me? How dare they? They have the audacity to try to outrun me. I'm going to keep up. Charlie, drive. I'm going to get the pick. I mean, is that hustle though? Are you at the end of the day, you think, yo, I'm hustling. I'm out here grinding, trying to get these photos, kid. National Enquirer, Daily Post, whatever they were doing for that time. They want this. And I got to get this picture, and I got to bump somebody else's picture.
No. Oh, all right, Polly. Come on now. I need your support here on this one.
So I like each person has a perspective that, so the paparazzi chasers, they're thinking about themselves, and then but you also have to think like for the people that are trying to make it big into show business, like yes, so okay, you want to blame the audience for causing people to get to a breaking point, but the people who want the fame and chase the fame, like they also should be like taking classes or understanding themselves. Like if this person is already has like a weak personality or already has like issues, and then they get put in the limelight, like they're like, oh, I just want to make it big, but they don't understand what being in the limelight does and what um situations can happen, right? Like, but there are things called accidents, and accidents happen with in the case of car crashes, right? Like you can never know that's going to happen, but we've seen it for decades. And now with the social media and people having their own IG accounts, I don't know if it's less of a paparazzi being chasing them. I don't know if it's less because now people have the ability to just shape media themselves by posting things on their own timeline. But like if you so like okay, if Talking with an Auto wants to make it big, and he doesn't realize that when he does make big, he's gonna have people sending him DMs or trying to figure out where he lives, or like learning about him in the background. And if he's not up for that, then he shouldn't be trying to have a podcast, like period. And then same people who are like artists, like, oh, I want to make it big on YouTube. Okay, but you struggle talking to people. You struggle, like you're comfortable in front of a screen, but eventually someone's going to take you out of your comfort zone and you don't know how to deal with that. Like I think there's more that goes on beyond like, oh, let's blame the paparazzi for causing things. Like if every day it's painful for me to go on stage and perform, maybe I should just stop performing.
And that's a good read, because that's exactly where it was for her. You know, she couldn't handle it, and that's why she self-medicated, and that in itself is a negative thing, because the self-medication, one, wears off, or two, you start to build up a tolerance, which means you have to do more, and now a lot of this can affect your performance.
Yeah, and then if you look at artists like, okay, so Taylor Swift, okay, people can love her, people can hate her, but she went, like, that's why they call it like, hey, this is the so and so tour. This is what it's called. I'm doing this for a certain amount of time. And we've all heard like Taylor, like running on the treadmill, being able to sustain that stamina for to be able to perform hours, like what, 5-6 times a week, right? So okay, so this person knows that I have to have this high stamina, and it's not just going to come overnight. So let me train for it, and then when it's done, okay, I can breathe and recharge. Same thing with like Sierra. Right, Sierra, how many kids she's got now? How long has she's been around? For at least 20 years, and she'll come in waves. She'll go on she'll have her tour, she'll drop an album, drop a baby, take a pause, be like Russell Wilson's supporter, and then she'll come back and then recharge and do it again. And she'll be like, okay, I'm out here working on it. And so, well, she hasn't crashed, right? So, but she's just as popular as some of the others who have crashed, right? Like take them popularity compared into different genres. So okay, so what is she doing? Is it because we're not going to say they were born this way. Like maybe her upbringing was different than somebody else's who felt like I can't do this is too much. But then at the same time, like if you take those backgrounds out, like they all wanted eventually to get popular, or they had this talent and they wanted to capitalize off it. Like, so we're going to say Amy Winehouse had enough money to find support, right? To be like, hey, I need like a trainer to help me with this. I need, this. So then it's like, why couldn't not just her, but other people in similar situations? Like, why couldn't they feel like they could speak up? And we always hear like artists, like they didn't have support, they didn't have help, they didn't have close family. And they say like, once you make a top, it's lonely. Fine, but then let's pivot and look at some of the other artists that, I mean, I'm sure you all have ideas of who we can bring from examples. Like, so why can they handle it? Why have they thrived, continue thriving? Or why some people just decide like, you know what, I'm good. I've done it. I've been there, and now I just want to pivot, and that's it.
I really like this topic, and I know we could eat a little bit more off of it. We may have to bring it back up. I'll say one last thing. No matter what you guys say, this will be my last thing. A lot of people don't have self-introspection. A lot of people don't have that analysis. Even in our normal lives. And so what makes us think that superstars are going to do it? Yes, they have the money and the means, but they also have a lot of responsibility. Taylor can't be playing Minecraft if she's supposed to do her daily jogs on the treadmill, working on her stamina. And you got to run those lyrics. That's a second maybe session during the day, plus press, pictures, appearances. Then you got to say, okay, but what is that talking about us normal people? Yo, how many of y'all know somebody that either needs to lose weight and don't go talk to a personal trainer? How many people y'all know are in a relationship or marriage, it sucks, and don't go talk to their preacher for marriage counseling? As far as I know, that'll be free. You just got to get on their docket, get on the calendar and talk to somebody, but you ain't trying to really fix it. You want to come home and deal with even more drama and just keep going at it in life, especially for your Facebook posts or your friends. So you can be like, man, my man ain't nothing. My woman is crap. Or those give you the reasons to go cheat on somebody. I know I've done that before. I cheated and I was looking for a reason. I was like, man, she garbage. And then wham. And then that's where it is. So I think a lot of people sometimes can find out things to better themselves, but they ain't trying to seek that out. Truth hurts sometimes.
True, but you also have to, with like artists, right? So they've done, you can compare them to normal people, but you can't, because they've done things that normal people haven't, right? They put themselves out there more. Whether it was by luck, they did something else that like a normal person didn't. Same thing about all these NFL players, right? Why do you have some more successful that's like, okay, you know, let's say Tom Brady, let's think the Manning brothers, right? Like they were able to survive in the NFL relatively like major drama free, let's put it that way. You know, Deflategate was its own thing. But then you have other people who are still in the NFL, but they cut their career short. They do, like, let's say they get involved with a lot of domestic violence situations. They like gun issues. They're in the wrong place at the wrong time. They're like with the wrong crowds. And it's like, but at the end of the day, they all did something to warrant themselves to be worthy of the NFL. Artists, they did something that got them to where they are. Their people know them. Regular people, some of them may want to be there, but they haven't done it. So I expect a little bit less out of regular people, only because they're still either they, yes, they don't, and everybody doesn't have a lot of introspection as it is, but they haven't done that next level step. That's why people get mad at people who are CEOs and all that stuff. Like, yes, unless somebody handed them the job, but for those people who worked hard, they did sacrifice. It's like, okay, why, you know, got all these extra certificates. I got these degrees. Oh, degrees don't matter. Okay, but they had to do something to set themselves apart from other people instead of just complaining about it. So, you know, we can be mad at all these people like, oh, they have it so good, but we don't, they all did something that the average person sitting and just like moping around hasn't tried to do for themselves.
I hate a lady with a cobblestone brick fireplace and 30-foot ceilings and a bookcase over her left shoulder. You know, I mean, about the rest of us. So I agree with you there.
I said, don't forget her classic piano that, you know, sits over in the corner.
There's a classic piano back there too.
But sit in a different part of the room.
After nearly 30 years, Eve has finally received a Grammy for her uncredited contribution to the Roots 1999 hit You Got Me, correcting an oversight from the original 2000 award. This marks her second Grammy following her 2002 win with Gwen Stefani. How do you think delayed recognition like this impacts an artist's legacy? And does it ever truly make up for being overlooked at the time?
I don't think it makes up for being overlooked at the time, but you're talking about legacy, right? So for the generations that maybe are now discovering Eve because of their young age, or, you know, she's being popular, like this is being in the news. So again, people scrolling TikTok, whatever social media, and it's popping up. They're like, I don't know who this is because I wasn't born during that time. I didn't get to enjoy it. So when they look at it, they're not going to necessarily focus on the controversy of what happened because that wasn't a lived experience for them. But her legacy will still remain because at least at the end of the day, in like 2 decades from now, they'll be like, oh, Eve, 2-time Grammy award winning, blah, 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 for these songs. And people can be like, Oh, okay. I've heard these by virtue of whatever. So it doesn't make up for everything that went on in the last at that time. And maybe whenever she did get over it, if you can really get over something like that, or maybe not get over, but move forward. But it doesn't fix like her personal experience of not feeling like she didn't get what she should have gotten. But going forward, it does leave that legacy.
And see, yeah, because I'm about to say that um, recognition is recognition. Whether or not it's you get it at the time that you should have received it, at the time that it happened, or now, unfortunately, she's waiting, what you said, 20 years later,
25.
for it, 25 years later. Now she's at a different stage in her life. Eve is now married. She has a child or children going on. So now she has that maturity
Mhm.
about her, that she can have a new aspect, a new love of it, that she has more that can share with it. Because again, like Polly was saying, there's a whole generation that did not know who she was at first, but now again, they know who she is. So imagine, her receiving it now. Yeah, I might be in my feelings that yeah, I should have received it back then. But you know what? You corrected it, you fixed it. Hey, thank you. I can still enjoy it. She can get back on the charts again. We don't know what this award giving it to her now at this particular time in her life. I think she can appreciate it more now.
In 1982,
Oh
Larry
Jesus.
Walters tied 45 helium balloons to a lawn chair, expecting to float a few feet above his yard, but instead shot nearly 16,000 feet into the sky and drifted into LAX airspace. He survived by shooting balloons with a BB gun to descend, creating one of the wildest true stories ever told. This is Polly's people. What does the Larry Walters story say about human ambition? Was this reckless stupidity, fearless curiosity, or something we secretly admire about pushing limits?
Science project gone wrong. First thing pops in my mind. I'm sorry. Because I'm sitting here thinking that was a grown man that came up with the idea to get some helium balloons and a lawn chair. I said, you know what? I want to see whether or not I can truly fly. Okay.
He's going up, up,
Up,
up.
up. And I get, family and friends have, probably try to talk him out of it. It's like, you're crazy for doing this. And then when he actually is starting to float away, you tell me, didn't nobody else have a BB gun or something that could have shot him down before he got over airspace?
I like it. You said what science project gone wrong.
Yeah.
That's not something I would do, but at the same time, we can't we make fun of it now, but we also can we make fun of the people who did stuff that was crazy and now led to inventions that are very useful, right? Think any science, like we have cars, we
Mhm.
have drones. Was the first drone creator where people were like, what is that ridiculous looking thing that you're using? And now drones are being used in wars, and we have to restructure how we think about things because of drones. That someone at some point was like, science project gone wrong, right?
Mhm.
For all the robots, you're like, robots, but how many people, the first thing they don't think about robots are like, oh, robots, but they have those robot vacuums, right?
That is,
Like if you told
yes.
someone oh, first of all, when the first vacuum came around, they're like, what is this? And now you have vacuums that can, do a decent job for you, but they can still help. That's also crazy. So not something I'd ever be curious. Hey, can I and I launcher fly away? But what if he learned something out of it? What if it moves like that led to greater technology advances that we take for granted today? So let the crazy man be.
Relationships.
Oh, we knew it was
Right.
coming.
Ladies, why doesn't my wife get as excited for me as she does for the sauna and cold plunge?
Because you're not there.
Now I get it.
Just need some peace and quiet.
This,
Oh,
Well,
this kind of
women
this
getting
kind
next
of goes
questions
back
you don't want to
to
know the answer to.
Look, this kind of goes back to the pool growing on the basketball court, whether or not, you can appreciate it more. So yeah,
But
Okay.
like, why do
I just
why?
wondered because I just brought whenever I bring it up to her, she smiles like, "Hey, you gonna do the sauna cold plunge thing," and she'll be like, "Yeah, I would." But for the
yes.
last hour, while she was with me, while we was driving, while we was together, no smiles. But when she realized she can go do that, all smiles.
But
I could reach over and be like, "Girl, you the baddest thing coming, man. You hot to you look beautiful." No smile. But I talk about the sauna, all smiles.
But you could flip that on a guy. If you told a guy, if a girl told a guy and that it was his thing, hey, do you want to go hang out with your bros and drink beers at the to watch this game? Whatever. Say like
Mhm,
that's his thing. He would light up
mhm.
too.
Oh
Maybe.
yes.
Or if you said, hey, do you want to just I don't know, whatever activity, play basketball with your friends on Saturday morning instead of, going shopping with her the usual. Like,
Hmm.
you know, yes, at the end of the day, like he's about spending time. We'd be like, oh, I haven't played basketball in a while. Like I would really like that. So you can still like flip that narrative and it just be like that's their thing. That's why so many women go get pedicures, right? And it's like
Hmm.
their quiet time, their me time, and the guys are just like, yeah, they're just pampering. But I think you can be excited about things if it helps you rejuvenate, reheal, and then come back, to be able to be fully engaged in the relationship.
You bring me to a point then. Are y'all that fair and equitable? So when a lady says, I gotta go get my manicure pedicure, so I know I'm gonna be gone an hour and a half. Do y'all ever think, you know what? I had my hour and a half. Let me get back and say, hey, go do something for an hour and a half. Or you're just happy that you get yours. Let's be honest. Let's be
Guys,
honest.
they spend an hour and
No,
a
no,
half on
no, no.
they
Let's
get an
be
hour and a
honest.
half on the toilet, so
Do
they're good.
you, ladies, do
Yeah.
you guys do that? That's what I want to know.
We don't have to do
Well,
that. The guys should
my
just say
Oh, look, don't worry about the judgment. We asking for the truth.
it's communication.
right.
So he
Has he
should
let
ask, is
on?
what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Has he stated, hey, I need to get out and do some things? Again, we're not mind readers. We have let you know we need this mani and petty. We're not trying to tear our sheets up with these bad feet. So
Okay.
we're letting
All
you
right.
know we're letting you know that sauna and that cold dip that relaxes us. It
Okay.
stimulates.
I mean,
Then you could also have guys who just don't want to be by themselves and they want to be with her all the time. So if
Mm-hmm.
they're all about being with her all the time, then why would she ever think that he wants time away when he's like, "Oh, you're leaving me? Don't leave me," because I'm a little puppy dog. You have those
Right.
guys
well,
too.
this kind of goes back to the Amy Winehouse thing of the onlookers, the people that are in those people's lives that don't give them the self introspect. Like sometimes you got to force a person. If you know somebody's a workaholic, don't you step in? If you know someone's an alcoholic, don't you step in? Sometimes they can't pick their head up to say, hey, I need this. Like sometimes as friends, people in their circle, shadow, like you got to say that to them, right? Don't you got to jump in sometimes and say, yo, this would be good for you. And even if you don't, I think you should do it. So just go do it for me. Don't do it for yourself. Clearly, you don't want to do it for yourself. Do it for me. That's almost like an intervention.
So I can tell my spouse, hey, you know what? I need a 3-day break from you. So I think that you need to go take these 3 days, go somewhere, no phone, no, don't call me. I won't call you. I think you need this. So that's going to be okay.
It sounds like it.
Hey, it
If you
works.
if you need it, you got to be it. I mean, I feel like that's. And what did you say? Was that you? Probably said communication.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you love someone, sometimes you got to do things that makes you uncomfortable to
Ah,
make them happy. And so, yeah, if you got to be without your boo for 72 hours, you're like, yo, here, go to Boston for the weekend and just go hang out.
I ain't paying for that. You need
Oh
3 days
my
off.
gosh.
I'm leaving you. You staying by yourself. You
Holly,
alone in the
we're
house.
trying to make sure we are all fair and equitable for our mates here. We're trying to help people out here in this world.
Why do I have to give him an idea where to go?
right. I done came up with the suggestion that you need 3 days, away.
I thought I was being nice by saying Boston. I wanted to say MIA, but I thought y'all at first it'd be a whole lot of you can't go to Miami.
You know, MIA stands for a whole lot of things. Just remember that.
I mean, let me see. My wife told me Miami. I think I'd be good. I got a cousin down there. There was a guy I met at a tennis tournament, but he'll never text me back. So
Hey boo, I'm going to Miami tomorrow.
We out.
Sorry,
Dang.
I'm leaving tomorrow.
That's how y'all do it.
Why not? You said communicate. Be honest. I'm out.
Yeah, I gave notice.
Anybody got deals on flights? Leaving time now? I'm here for them.
Well, Southwest done changed. You know, it's assigned seating now, so I think they might even start charging a little bit more now.
I'm looking for a sponsor. I didn't say Southwest. I need somebody to sponsor my flight. I'll wear your apparel everywhere I go.
You'll take Spirit? She hesitated.
Actors can't be choosers. As long as I get back in there and back.
Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg has quietly spent about $110 million buying up 11 residential properties in Palo Alto. That's out where Polly is from, DL. To assemble a massive private compound. Ongoing construction has angered neighbors who feel boxed in, especially after Zuckerberg gifted them noise-canceling headphones. Gangsta move. A move many saw as a not-so-subtle message. So, ladies, at what point does extreme wealth stop being a private property rights and start reshaping or bullying a community around it?
So are they in the same community, or it's like their neighbor?
Yes. These are neighbors in that private little residential area in Palo Alto.
So they're mad that all the new construction is his. Not that it's new construction, but that it's his.
Because if he's got the cul-de-sac on the end, now he's buying up different properties, but if he's got something going on down the end, all of us, and that's the end of the cul-de-sac, all them trucks got to come past our house twice on their way in and on their way out.
I don't see how that's any. I think they're just mad because it's Mark Zuckerberg and he bought 11 homes. But how is that different from your neighbor who decides that my 1980s house, I buy it and then I want to make it modern and 2026 standards? How is that different?
People will always complain about that. Yo, Polly, when I lived in Texas, at one point the area I lived in was the fastest growing in America.
Okay.
And all the people who lived there before me started complaining because of all the new construction and all the new people moving in.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's the same thing. When you lived in that compound in Palo Alto, you have no control over what your neighbors do.
Yeah.
So if DL has been my long neighbor and Polly, you want to get into the neighborhood, but I don't like you and I wouldn't want you to live near me, you make DL an offer she can't refuse. You just bought her property and now you're my neighbor. And then you go get another neighbor and another neighbor. We don't know what he could have overpaid for these properties, but he got them.
Yeah, I think that's the problem, is that it's not that it was purchased, it's who purchased and how much and what they think they're gonna do to him. I mean, yeah, listen, some people don't even give you noise canceling headphones, like, number one, right? Like, so they didn't have to accept it, you know. I mean, I thought that's nice of him. That's kind of weird. Like, I don't know. I think there's like more to the story that we're not getting. But how many? Yeah, I've lived places where I go somewhere, I was like, oh, cool. Like, there's nobody here. There's trees nearby. And then like a year or 2 years later, they start building houses. And like, yeah, I get annoyed because like, oh, I had this, like, I didn't have anything in my backyard. Like, if I looked out, it was just my backyard and trees. But then that's also my fault for not asking the right questions, right? If I bought the house and I was like, oh, there's all this construction in this area, but I'm also like phase 2, you know, like when you live somewhere and you're like phase 2, if you're ever buying something and then you're a phase, you might not be the last phase. So like those people got it. They moved there. I'm going to assume they moved there. Maybe they were the first ones or the early ones and they saw land. But I think at this point where we are in the world where people just, we want more property. I don't want to say we don't have enough property, but we want more. Like, there's people who own like 10 homes and they want more. That is what it is. That's where we live when we have the land to build, and everybody has their own decisions that they make. But It is what it is. Like, that's the same way that people complain about Hollywood, how it was in the 1990s, and how it's not like that, like how it is today, or how New York back in this borough used to be like this, and now it's like that. It's like, okay, so you want the past, then you don't need your iPhones either, right? Like, what are we doing here? So I think it's more so that the fact that I know who bought it, and I mean, with the compound, is it going to be, maybe it's going to be homes for like people who work for him. That's what
I see this, and I'm going along the lines of what you just ended with, Polly. So you got there before I could get there, but now I got to get there. When you have the amount of wealth that he has, this is 110 million presently. It doesn't mean he's done, but he's a billionaire. So this is a drop in the bucket. So when you think about it, I got family. His wife's got family and friends. When you have opportunity, your life is different. So you ain't gotta go to work. So when I say, yo, DL, bring your family, y'all come stay out. No, I'm not putting you in a hotel. That's drama. And if you're in a hotel, DL, you gotta deal with paparazzi because people know you my ace boom coon. But I can be like, yo, I got an extra house out here on the compound. So I got you. Do you want the one that's got the 5 bedrooms and a pool, or you want the one with the basketball court? Because if you get here first before Polly and her family, that's the one you get, and then they'll get the other one. And we'll just golf cart you in to the main house. I get it, and I understand it. Especially isn't this what we always talk about? If I win $1 billion, I'm gonna take care of my people and around. Get your mama out on the crib, or maybe your good uncle raised you. So that's 2 people that you got to go do. The compound is where it's at because you control the narrative, you control the access. I get it. Yo, Mark, do your thing. I don't see eye to eye with Mark on everything, but I see what he's doing here.
But see, now I'm looking at the neighbors. Are the neighbors mad because he got the idea first to build a as you say, a compound of family and friends, that they didn't put their money together and do it for their family and friends? Because again, that land had been sitting there and he saw it as prime real estate. So,
DL, would you get mad that 10 families left the neighborhood now? People maybe you've known, like Polly said, maybe we got here first, but the Jenkins don't live here no more, and the Robinsons, and the Williamses, and the Washingtons, and the Svetkovs, and the Ingrams, and the Donnianians, and the Pollyannians, and DL. I'm purposely doing this because that's only 8 families. There's 3 more families that have to leave. And so when that HOA, just as an example, goes away, the amount of people that come to the pool go away. And we're upset about that, right? Some of us are holding the line. I ain't gonna never sell this property. Okay, well, that was your mistake because your little 1 million property, he would have paid you 5 million for it, and you should take it.
Like, but you're talking about what happened in after the pandemic, right? Like, people, there's so many neighborhoods where people up and left because they realized, oh, I paid $200,000 for this house and I can now get $700,000 for it and go move to a different state. A lot of people did that because I also met people who are very upset that, oh, these new families moved in and they're like not like the old families, but nothing is forcing them to stay, right? Like, we always like, oh, we buy this, we want, so we have this dream. It's like the American dream is like owning a home. Okay, but do your kids really want to inherit a 40-year-old house? Like, think about it. What are they going to do with a 40-year-old house that has plumbing issues that you've been hiding for years? So again, if they could have made the decision to get more money, and if they didn't because they were like, I'm very comfortable with the school districts, I don't like moving, I mean, that's on them. I don't feel bad for anybody, because if my 10 neighbors leave right away, that's not my life, that's not my problem. Like, if I was friends with them, like, yeah, that sucks, but guess what, we can still keep texting, we can find ways to keep in touch if that truly was a friendship and not just a thing of convenience. So I don't feel bad for people who are like, oh, my friend, like, what happens when you go to college, what happens when you graduate high school? You either leave your town or you stay in your town. And the people who stay in the town, they're like, oh yeah, remember when this, and it's nice to be nostalgic, but at the end of the day, like, nothing stays the same forever.
And
Agreed.
and my thing is, one, I don't know 10 of my neighbors on my block. I'm
Same.
sorry. I'm not that sociable. That
Same.
so if a neighbor moves, okay, I'm like, okay, well that house is available. Hey, maybe I might need to buy another house, on the block. Hey, that's real estate. That's, Airbnb. That's, something like that. Again, it could be a house for when family come and visit. You got to get out the mindset of, oh, I don't want this and I don't want that. And that's why neighborhoods like where the neighbors were complaining about him building his compound, that's why neighborhoods like that are slowly disappearing because you're stuck in that rut and progress is coming right on past you. If anything, I would have been that neighbor like who's moving over here? Do you want a sweet potato pie? You want some coffee? Let's get this thing going because maybe y'all might need my skills in this compound. I don't have to have that 5-bedroom house. I can take a 2-bedroom house. Just let me be part of the compound.
Maybe
Now,
maybe the person's like, ooh, like noise canceling headphones. I've never owned a pair of these because I never thought to. What is my Christmas gift gonna look like? Like, are we getting
thank you.
Christmas baskets? Like, okay, I've never had like, if somebody brings me a gift, like this is weird, but and especially if I know who it is, like you said, DL, like what else can I get? How does this benefit me? Like if we have to
Right.
survive, let's not think about the past and like move forward. And I like a DL, you said I was thinking like I didn't know, I've never known 10 of my neighbors and nor do I care to know them. I
Right.
don't need people up in my business. I live here. I'm not your friend.
Hold on,
Right.
Polly. You seem like you grew up. I'm gonna date myself, but I'm talking to DL right now. Yo, DL, Three's Company was filmed. That was supposed to be San Diego. In fact, that
Mm-hmm.
was the San Diego Zoo that they were doing there. So she's San Diego. Something tells me Polly grew up in a cute little place like Three's Company, some iCarly Hannah Montana thing. And are you trying to tell me you and Joe Mama didn't know 10 people, Polly? I'm gonna
So
challenge some culture here. I'm gonna challenge some culture here.
I think that you have to frame the question differently. We're talking about homes.
Right.
If people live in
Homeowners.
apartment complexes, that's a different story. Because in
Okay.
apartment complexes, you can't piss off your neighbors because they're
Yes.
to the right to the left. They're going to blast their music. They're up below, so you have to be nice, not because you like them. And this is different. This is just like that's like apartment politics. Town. If you're in a townhome or you're connected to your walls or people, whatever they're called nowadays, like that's different. You have to be cordial. But if it's
Right.
a freestanding home, which is what I'm thinking about within this
Mm-hmm.
compound, then don't bother me, right? If my fence is broken and we share a fence, we could talk about it. If you throw a ball over my fence, don't throw balls into my fence. Or my backyard, we have a different issue. But what I do, it doesn't matter. What I do to my house, whether I want to power wash it every Sunday, whether I don't want to power wash it, whether I want to use my garage as a gym as opposed to storage, like that's my business. And I don't need to get to know you because like that's you, that's me. Aside from
Mm-hmm.
living here, we don't have any common interests.
No.
Probably.
Polly, you make me realize that even with money gives you opportunity. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
he didn't like a lot of the neighbors in that neighborhood.
Maybe.
Maybe he had, because you made me think of some Karens. There's some Karens that's complaining about everything that he was doing in his first little plot of land. And as soon
Mm-hmm.
as he could, he bought and moved that lady out, and then another one out, and another one out. But even still, when you're working from home, that means you ain't got to get in the car and drive nowhere.
No,
Maybe
That's
you
it.
get in a golf cart, but he could have a whole house that he bought and turn that into an office building.
I mean,
And so he could take all his meetings at that place, which was a golf cart drive,
Mm-hmm.
and it's set up the way he wants, and he doesn't have to rent office space because he's a big dog. I'm getting back to our previous topic. Paparazzi's gonna follow him with Palo Alto. That's Northern California, so you're heading towards Silicon Valley, San Francisco. Like that's away from SoCal where you're from, right, Polly?
yeah.
Stuff's expensive up there.
Well, what makes you think he also like, let's say for a family, like, and he's got a couple kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
So
think too.
what if he's not buying them and putting it in their name so they can build like he doesn't, he can pass off money for like the generational wealth, but at the end of the day, what if he's buying it for a family or for people, and it's like, this is yours, like I'm buying it but it's not mine. We don't know what he's doing, and so I think people sometimes care too much about other people's businesses,
Mm-hmm.
and what other people do with their money. Like, people are all upset, like, oh, I deserve this. Okay, if you deserve this, like, go out and prove that you deserve something. Like, life's not fair, but at the same time, like we talked about with all the, like, the artists not knowing themselves, like, okay, life's not fair, but what are you going to do about it to change your life, instead of bashing other people and what they're doing?
Yeah.
And
Well, I'm
see,
gonna tell you this:
see,
if the apocalypse happened, you don't have an opportunity to go to your underground bunker if your house ain't big enough for no underground bunker. So you gotta acquire some more lands, because if you're gonna be stuck underground in some radioactive, because it's going on up there, I want my underground bunker as big as possible.
but I guarantee you, for that compound, there's a lawyer, there's a doctor, there's a teacher, there's all different
A
aspects.
carpenter, a
A
blacksmith,
carpenter,
yep,
electrician,
a
you know,
gunsmith.
right. His compound is going to have everything he could possibly need. There's going to be a barber, a beautician, childcare. His kid's favorite friend, their favorite cousin is going to be there. Now, if you know that these people are moving in, again, don't look at it as the negative. Let's see the positive of it. All
When
this, instead of you having to drive 15, 30 minutes to go to the store or whatever, I guarantee you his compound is going to have something.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yo, DL, when the pandemic hit, all of us realized, whether your house was a big ass house like Polly got or not, that it needs to be as big as possible. Like, that's your compound. So if you got to be locked in, quarantine your compound. But that
Yes.
means you got a community. And then we
Mhm.
gonna go back to our own damn houses, but we have a community, unlike the rest of us who just lived in a house with 5 or 6 people, including all your kids and dogs. But
No,
that's
no.
different. Like, you've got a compound, you've got a vineyard, you got some, a farm. Because
Hmm.
that's another thing. He's got a farmer on that compound. It
Oh,
doesn't have to be a big
right.
plot of land that they farm and cultivate, but it's enough to sustain.
Hmm.
We're growing some wheat over here, some rice over here, some yo.
But we
I,
are also talking about, like,
I feel it.
people, billionaires, and like, what do they do with their money when they're gone? So he's actively doing something with his money, and then think about it, he's also employing people at the end of the day, right? Like,
Yes, sir.
he has to maintain it. So the people who are working it are probably not complaining about it. They could
No.
complain about that he's like, maybe he's crappy, or he's not giving them the benefits that they want. But whatever reason, like, maybe they couldn't have had a job elsewhere. Like, like, we're all gonna complain about jobs, but at the end of the day, like, they still choose to showing up because they know, like, if not me, then somebody else can do it. And at least this way, I'll have employment for the foreseeable future. He
Yep.
ain't going bankrupt anytime soon, right? He's not gonna lose all that money. So
You guys know anything about Birkin bags?
Yes.
there's a
So
symbol, but
this controversy that's going on right now about Birkin, it isn't about privacy. It's about demand control. By gatekeeping access to the Birkin, Hermes
Hmm.
preserves scarcity, protects pricing power, and turns a handbag into a lever of distribution control that is there rather than a retail product. That's what he's doing. So the question is, at what point does luxury shift from selling a product to controlling access? And are we okay with brands deciding who gets to buy?
I think luxury has always been that way, right? That's why it's called luxury. Like, you have several layers of branding, right? You're trying to make it accessible to everyone. Think like your soda brands, right? We want everybody to drink it. But then at some point you're like, okay, well, now I'm going to elevate this, and it's going to be a target demographic. And so, luxury vehicles, right? Vehicles too. Sometimes vehicles are only 20 of them, and obviously you have to be in a certain financial bracket to get one, or if you bought one before, you can't buy another one, type of thing. There's all that. So that's what luxury is, and I think always has been. So I don't think so. Throwing hate or shade to the Birkin game, I don't really think we need to be engaging in that. We've always done that.
Right. And my thing is with the Birkin bags, if you want something, you'll work for it, you'll save up for it, your shop for it. You don't necessarily have to have the brand new one that just came out.
Mhm.
That's what, $12,500. Go find you. Start small. Get the wallet. Work your way up. You know, Price shop, consignment shop.
Yeah,
Um,
because
Yo,
you know.
Polly,
that's a thing now.
you got a Birkin?
I can't say I've ever wanted one. I do have a couple of, bags that I like, and for me, like those pieces are definitely nowhere near the 12.5 price tag, but for me, like, you know what? I like them, I wear them, they go with this. But people like nowadays people go look for the vintage stuff. So back in the trends in LA were like the Coach shoes, the Coach bags, so
Mhm.
tiny bags, Dooney Burke, and now people are finding them and they're like, you know what? Like, I can just get this for whatever Goodwill is selling it for or consignment shops, and like it's still a Coach product. It's not nowhere near like a Birkin level item, but it's still people are like, okay, well, I have like 10 different Coach purses that I've spent, time in preserving or bringing back to life or investing in. And like, yeah, they would have spent a lot more money getting those items at full price. But for them,
Mhm.
I like this. I have this. I have this little collection. So like DL said, like just start small with certain things. If it's as simple as like, you know, uh, I'll give you an example. Like I think it's like Dior or YSL. They have like really expensive lipstick and lip gloss. But if you go to somewhere like a Nordstrom Rack or you go and any product really, you go there and the thing's on sale and you have another coupon when they're getting this lipstick that could probably cost, I don't know, let's say $80 and you're getting it for $12. Okay. Maybe it's not the current color, but there's nothing wrong with it besides they overproduced it. There was somewhere in excess, and you're like, oh, cool. I have this lipstick that maybe I've seen people wear it somewhere, but I got
Mhm.
it for a decent price. And as long as you're okay with not having the it thing right away, which I think a lot of people are not okay with, but if you're reasonable about how you look at things and how you spend your money with them, then you can totally have that level of your own luxury, essentially defining your own luxury.
Mhm.
Just talk to
So
any sneakerhead who has a collection of sneakers and see how they acquired them and if they got them used or brand new.
yeah, no, we will. I think I'm bringing my nephew on. We can talk to him. I went in his closet during Thanksgiving, and
Oh.
I like clothes. I'm a pretty boy, but I can't say I have a sneaker collection. I'm not a sneaker because I go between boots, and plus I'm a motorcycle rider, and your shifter gets dirty. Like there's a lot of things that you're pretty up until a point. But I do that's the closest person I can think of. I think I got another guy he's played basketball with. We may have to do that. Bring them in for a session, and y'all know I'll have the topics, but we'll add them, and then the three of us have a little conversation with some sneakerheads.
Well,
Okay.
see,
But look, we ain't giving them a hard time. We just asking questions.
no, we're not gonna give them a hard time. But again, I'm a fan of the consignment shops because I hate to say, well, no, don't hate to say. I can brag about found a purse years ago. Did not know what it was. I just knew it was the color that I was looking for. It went with the outfit that I needed it to go with. Ran up on it years later when I realized what the bag was.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, I done scored a what? I'm online looking it up. I'm like, people paid what for this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whenever I pull it out, then people look, that's right. Mm,
Yeah. I I like
might
to
not pay
think
what
that
you pay for, but recognize what I'm working.
I like to think that
Oh.
I'm at that point that when I see things, I like them because I like them. I don't want to be bullied by what everyone else wants. I hope that I want this Cadillac EXT because I saw it, I always liked it, and
Ooh.
then I boom. That's why I want to like something. I'm looking up right now on my other monitor. I got this candy red 4-door Cadillac sedan that my wife makes fun of me and says I'm an old head. I'm a cat daddy who wants to drive a Cadillac as his dream car. But yeah, I mean, if money was no option, my dream car is a Bentley. I think I got one up here behind me. But yeah, for something a little more realistic, yeah, that's where I want to go, and that's what I like. Not necessarily what everyone else. It doesn't have to be a Lamborghini or Ferrari because everyone chases that. It could just be what I like.
I need to go shopping.
yo, Polly, hold on, man. Don't trigger your family. They gonna miss out now because we done talked about some stuff
today. I got a couple spots I could hit up.
One confession
Retail
blew a
therapy. I'm trying to
family.
tell you.
My bad. One confession blew a family apart after a man allegedly got his wife's twin sister pregnant. And the internet exploded. Split between calling it a tragic mistake and saying betrayal is never accidental. The backlash keeps growing as he stands by his story, tapping into deep fears about trust, boundaries, and how one choice can destroy everything. Ladies, do you believe there's a such thing? DL's face. Do you believe there's a such thing as an accident, betrayal in relationships, or does crossing certain lines automatically make it a choice no matter the circumstances?
Oh, it was a choice in this situation. You're trying to tell me that he didn't, like, twins are twins, but twins have differences. So you're trying to tell me like there was no way he knew. Nah, he wanted to get both twins, and no, he got both twins.
And see, my thing is, again, in your statement, he knew what he was tapping. He knew that wasn't his wife, and the sister didn't speak up. So that tat-a-tat-tat that he was doing, he knew
Yeah.
it. He
Wait a
was on a
minute.
mission.
I thought I brought up something the last time, and I told y'all my wife said I got a type. Well, yo, the twin sister, that's my type. So I'm just staying on brand.
No, but that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
They was raised in the same house. They got a lot of same ideals, and they probably look a little alike. Well, I'm just trying to.
Okay, I have twins that run deep in my family, and again, you can tell a twin apart. So the twin sister knew that wasn't her man. So I'm gonna start with her first. And don't
Facts.
say it was all about the alcohol that she didn't know. No, you knew first off that's not your man, that's your sister's husband. So, and then the husband, again, there are such thing as identicals down to everything, but no, that was all about trying to get a tap in, trying to get another mark on the belt or something else. No, I don't believe that was just accidental. Not nope.
At the height of Jim Crow, Texas journalist John Howard Griffin darkened his skin and traveled the deep South as a black man, discovering that racism was not abstract, but daily, relentless, and dehumanizing. When he published what he saw, he faced death threats, public hatred, and exile, proof that exposing injustice can be just as dangerous as enduring it. Ladies, what part of John Howard Griffith's story hits you the hardest? And do you think an experiment like that would even be possible or effective today?
I think an experiment like that could be possible today, but I think it's still going to be met with the same backlash that he met. Like, how dare you do that and then expose the atrocities that insert whatever group he's trying to show off on? Because the same people who need to hear it are going to be the people who don't want to acknowledge it either way. They don't want to acknowledge what is happening, and they're not going to acknowledge it from someone proving that it's happening. I mean, there's then the people who he's going to have the supporters, but it's going to be the supporters who are going to support him anyway.
And I guess my thing is that to colorize the skin, I can't think of the young lady's name that did that, and changed her whole identity because she identified with being black. and come to find out she was not black, came from whole nother ethnic background, but she was able to get away with that lie for years, because again of who she identified with, and then she had to pay the backlash for the lie.
Rachel
Um,
Dolezal.
that's it.
Yeah,
Um, she was in so many groups and everything else because again she had darkened her skin to be a part of that culture.
she was at the cookouts. Like she
Right.
might have coordinated a few of the cookouts.
As had them at her house and on her family compound, that she had set up her new life that she had established.
No,
And
I showed my wife the other day, DL, this 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 content creator named Drew Ski, and he dressed in whiteface at a NASCAR event and fooled everybody. In
yes, he
fact, he
did.
rolled
Yes.
up on a black dude and was giving a black dude a little problem and even called him boy. Now, not
Mm-hmm.
to his face. He was kind of
Yeah.
walking off. But
Yeah.
even at that point, that black dude being at a NASCAR event, sometimes there's a few things I'm sure you let go because of the people you are around with. So even if that guy would have said it to him, things might have been different. But she was
Mm-hmm.
shocked. That was a genuine reaction to her, and she was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's what he normally looks like. Wow, he sold it. Like that was
Yeah.
wow." And so I agree. I think it could be possible. And to your point, I don't think it's going to be effective today, Polly, like you said, because we're in the communication age. And so if you are curious about atrocities, you can look that
Mm-hmm.
up. You can know it's happening, and then that should change you. But it doesn't change you because either there's some fragility there, or you know, you have an inferiority complex. And again, like we started, if you don't go get a therapist and get it checked out, talk to your I don't even want to say preacher because there's some white Christian nationalists out there, and
Mm-hmm.
those preachers know that they people are on the edge and they ain't trying to pull them back.
Yeah.
Like ladies, I had a lot of fun today. The time flew. We
Oh wow.
didn't get half the topics I would have liked to, but we
Hey.
dug in, and that happens. If if there comes a time where you guys want to move faster, we can put ourselves on a clock, 2 minutes per topic. But that takes away a little bit of it.
Oh,
So that hey, we get people what they want. This leaves them wanting for more, and we got to put in our schedules and put more content out there.
Yeah.
But I do want to say thank you for talking with Donato.
Until
hey, it was real. Later.